What's going on, my friends? I hope you're very well. Today we're gonna record this short video where I'm gonna use this container that I have here in order to make a terrarium. And I've got everything that I need here. We can see that I got the substrate there, the terrarium soil. I got a draining layer over here, and this is the moss. This is really cool. And we can see here we got in this little plastic bubble container the moss that I'm gonna use, and the aquarium plant that I'm also going to use. So if we can see here, it's nice and green and alive. And I also collected this little fern from the same place where I collected this moss. This isn't moss that I grew, but it was locally and responsibly sourced. Actually, I have this very short video as well that you're going to see right now where I collected it, and you'll be able to see where I got this. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we can see here where we got the moss from, and you can see this is sort of like an urban recollection. This is a wall that is literally on the side of the road, but this is an urban setting, and so we can see that we're not damaging the environment. This is something that is going to completely dry out once the rainy season is over, and you know, it's sustainable because we're just taking literally like a few little patches, and you know, this is going to multiply and multiply wherever we use it. From my experience, I can tell you that this is growing here because it doesn't get direct sunlight all day. It just gets sunlight in the morning, and for some reason this is a very moist place. Maybe they got some sort of like a reservoir or like a container that has water on the other side. That's why we get this damp environment in which moss can thrive. So yeah, I just wanted to show you where we got it from. Nice little place. Okay, so let's go back. So yeah, we're back, and we can see that the moss that we collected from that wall on the side of the road, we got it here. Yeah, we just took a few little patches, and here it is. And I also have this little Bucephalandra here, which I'm gonna actually cut in two, and I'm gonna use it in my terrarium. You can see that this is a plant. If you know a little bit about aquariums, which some of you know a lot about aquariums, you can grow this immersed. There's absolutely no problem in growing this outside of the water, and it's a very, very small plant. You can use it in terrariums, vivariums, ripariums, whatever you need, and so I'm also going to use that. So yeah, we got everything here, but I'm also going to show you how I collected this from my aquarium. The fish bowl that I showed you a couple of videos ago, the Wallstadt method, with the zebra danios. Yeah, so again, let's take a look at that. So one of the little plants that I will be using is a little shoot from that Bucephalandra. You've seen me use that plant in the other bottle terrarium that I made a couple of weeks ago. And you know, the interesting thing about this little plant is that it grows very, very small. It's not invasive, it roots easily. I don't think we can see the roots over there, but yeah, the stems start to produce roots, so it can continue to, you know, grow and grow. So what I'm going to do is come in with my scissors here. Nothing too fancy, nothing out of the ordinary, and I'm going to clip, if the zebra danios let me, a little tip that I will be using in my belt. And here we have it. Yeah. Let's remove it. It's a bit covered in algae, to be honest with you, but here we got our cutting. And it's all ready to be used. Yeah. So let's go ahead and use this little baby in our terrarium. Here we can see another angle of the plant, another shot, And there we can see the roots that will allow us to use this in our terrarium. Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're back. Everything has been laid on the table. We got everything that we need here. I even have my little tools there at the ready. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our layer of draining soil. Yeah, this is mineral, you know. It's got no nutrients like at all. And we can see that it's you know, composed of large particles that are going to help us to, like I said, you know, drain the soil. If there's any excess water in our build, this is going to, you know, keep it on the bottom of the container and not on the top layers where it can cause rooting, how do you call that? Yeah, rotting of the roots and mold and all those funny business that, you know, can arise in terrariums. So that's the first layer ready, and the second layer is actually the one where we have the nutrients. Yeah, so the second layer is a bit more rich in nutrients, and some of the things that we use for the first layer, the draining layer, are also present here, but we also have a little bit of cocoa coir and a little bit of worm castings as well. But remember, you got to be careful. You got to go easy on the nutrients, because an excess of nutrients is going to result in, like I said, you know, places of the soil or the substrate where oxygen doesn't get through, where you have rotting of the roots, a lot of mold, so all of those things that we don't want in our terrarium. So this is basically going to be the main layer where we're going to, you know, plant everything. And what I want to do is have like two separate walls on each side of the build, so we have the maximum surface area for the moss to grow in. Yeah, so we go in and we just place it around. We play with the distribution of the soil. Yeah, and yeah, we continue to do that. I also have this rocks here that I intend to incorporate to the design as well. These are going to be placed on the sides, leaving a little valley in the middle. I think that one's a bit large. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Yeah, just leave it there for the time being. Okay, so another one over here, and the last one also over here. So we can see here a familiar theme with my builds. I like to give the idea or imply that this was once like a, I don't know, like an ancient ruin, something that civilization left behind and that nature has reclaimed. Yeah, so the thing about terrariums is that you can do pretty much whatever you want, right? How does that look? Cool? I think so. Yeah. I'm kind of happy with it. Of course, this is like a very quick demonstration. You can take your time. You can take as little or as much as you want preparing the components, the dry escape, everything that you're gonna need. And so this is going to result in an amazing terrarium. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So the next stage would be to apply a little bit of this clay soil that we have here, and this is very similar to the thing that we use with the kokedama. Sorry about that, it's gonna be a choppy video from what I can tell, but yeah, I was saying that we got the main layout ready, and we're gonna use this, which is very similar to the keto soil that we use for the kokedama, and we're only gonna use it on the surface of the rocks. Yeah, we're gonna use a little bit of it. You know, this is basically clay with a little bit of gardening soil, and we're gonna apply it like so, you know, just a little bit, so that moss can grow on the rocks as well. Yeah, so this is gonna continue to run down into the soil, so that's why it's a very good idea not to apply too much, you know. Just a thin layer will do, and a thin layer goes a long way. And from my experience, I can tell you that I can see, or that I've seen, that the moss that I'm going to use, the species of moss that I'm going to use, clings very well to this type of rocks. I've used flint as well, and that one, moss doesn't seem to like to hold on to that one, to that type of stone. But this one, I think is going to look really cool because it's, you know, it's very porous in nature, and moss starts to grow around it to the point where it engulfs it completely. You know, when you've been growing it successfully for some time. So we continue applying our keto soil, or keto soil. It's a Japanese word, by the way. So keto, not the ketogenic diet like I've said before. But yeah, we just continue to apply it in the crevices where we definitely want moss to grow. Yeah. So let's continue. Yeah, that's the second step. That's as far as I want to go. Maybe a little bit here in this little wall that we have here. Yeah. Now, the only thing that's left for us to do would be to, you know, completely line this with moss. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Remember that it's a very good idea to press down on the moss a little bit so it comes into contact with the soil, and of course with the water in the soil. So that is something to keep in mind when you're pressing down. You got to do so firmly so that everything comes into contact with the rhizoids, with the little roots, if you will, of the moss that we're going to be using. Yeah. So a little bit over here. Looks nice. Looks fluorescent almost, doesn't it? Nice. So let's continue to do this, and yeah, I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Yeah. And this is what it looks like when it's all planted, you know, when the moss is already placed, when it's in position. And you can see that the only thing that I did is come in, place it, and then push it a little bit down like this. So like I said, it becomes you know, attached to the soil. Now the only thing that I've got left to do is plant my bouquet there. So same thing, right? I just place it there, I pushed a little bit down like that, and it's planted. And I decided to take it and divide it into two, so that we have a little bit more than just the moss. Yeah. So here I go again. Place it down. Comes into contact with the soil, and there it is. It's planted. Yeah. So yeah, look. I see this as an absolute win again. We can see that the moss is planted. This is of course gonna establish itself. It's gonna go through a period of establishing. The plants are gonna start to form roots and develop nicely in this container. Of course, being a container with a lid, we're gonna have to find a location that is suitable for all of the plants within the container. Yeah. So maybe a bright spot that receives sunlight and indirect sunlight, in the morning or throughout the day, or one of your grow lights is going to be very, very good for this type of build. And another thing, I've got water here. I usually water with a spray bottle like this. You can use, I don't know, something else, your hands maybe. But the really, really important thing that we need to remember is that this needs to be distilled water. Yeah, this has got to be reverse osmosis water. You gotta have water that has a minimum amount of minerals so that the moss can really, really thrive. So anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you have any comments, questions, doubts, anything, please drop them down below. If you come from my bonsai channel, thank you so much for the support. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.